This next article from Music Tech, this topic of the Spotify CEO is a hot topic for sure. The very first video I posted about the Spotify CEO was very much debated in the comments. I'm just going to read into this, but this kind of adds to like my frustration with Spotify and the fact that it just sucks that it's the only highway to get to new fans quickly, you know. But it says Daniel Ek earned more from Spotify in the past 12 months than any artist has ever earned on the platform. It says monthly listeners 0, streams equivalent to 115 billion, stream rank equivalent, world's #1 artist. So essentially he's made more money than any artist on the platform ever in history, which blows my mind. Spotify CEO and founder Daniel Ek earned more money from the platform in the past 12 months than any other artist ever has, reports royalties accountant Hunter Giles, and Ek's closest executives aren't far behind him either. Taylor Swift, Drake, Billie Eilish, Ed Sheeran, and literally any other megastar you can think of reportedly haven't been able to top the $345 million Ek has roughly made in the last year. In his IC newsletter, Giles breaks down the cash-out values of Spotify executive shares and equates those earnings to the number of streams each exec would need to gain to accrue the sum. Giles adds that he made a comparison using the quote-unquote generous value of $0.003 per stream and assumed 100% control over the IP in the comp, which is never the case. Yeah, like it's very rare that you're getting 100% of the revenue generated from your song. Very few artists are in that situation. Daniel Ek takes the top spot, cashing out a total of $345 million in shares since July 2023, which is equal to gaining 115 billion streams, hypothetically making him the #1 top streamed artist of all time on the platform. I see what he's doing here, right? Like he's just equating the amount of money that he's made from Spotify and just kind of like putting that next to how many streams it would take to actually get that, right? As a comparison, Statista reports that Taylor Swift is the most streamed real artist on Spotify with 76 billion all-time streams as of April 2024. And it's not like she gets a check for, oh, you made 76 billion streams, here's that money. Like she's been collecting that over the years. Second place to Ek is Martin Lorentzen, co-founder of Spotify, whose shares are valued at $166.8 million, equal to 55.6 billion streams. That ratio is kind of off. This would hypothetically make him the 9th most streamed artist of all time. Alex Nordstrom, co-president of Spotify, is 3rd in the ranking with a share value of 26.4 million, equal to 8.8 billion streams, placing him at 185 in the most streamed artists of all time. Boomer, he said, I would pay good money to see his top songs of the year. That buzz would probably bumping hot cross buns on repeat. However, Giles said this analysis is not intended to vilify or shame the executives at Spotify. I personally don't think that Ek and the gang are good or bad people, he says, and the point of this isn't to shame them. The bad actor here, in my humble opinion, is the same as always. Misaligned incentives that fail to appropriately share the wealth amongst stakeholders, aka late capitalism. I like this guy. Hunter Giles. These people are just doing a good job of hitting the misaligned marks, and I don't feel it's true or useful to think of them as evil geniuses out to steal money from artists. But when you look at the numbers, it's kind of, you could make an argument, right? Daniel Ek hasn't taken home a regular salary since 2017. Oh, that's crazy. In 7 years, he hasn't taken home a salary. What? According to Spotify filings and Forge. Okay, so on the paper, he hasn't. Probably one of the worst paid major tech CEOs last year. But he did receive $1.4 million in other compensation. In other news, Ek confirmed that in July that a new deluxe tier of Spotify is set to arrive soon, complete with high-resolution audio quality. I feel like the people who are going to take advantage of the high-quality tier of Spotify is like just people who can, like, yeah, bro, hop in the whip. We got that high-fidelity audio, bro. Yeah, this kind of, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it because I get it. Right? Like you're running the platform and you're doing all the work, I guess. But I think late capitalism is a really good kind of term to boil this down to because it's the CEO making astronomically more than the employees or the people providing the content on the platform. I feel like normal people won't ever leave Spotify. Yeah, they got a lock on the general consumer, 100%. When I send my friends a track on SoundCloud, they hit me with the, well, if it was on Spotify, I would listen way more. Yeah, when you put something out on SoundCloud, you're hitting those like true fans or like people who really dig for music. I think there's a big market on SoundCloud, but it's kind of very niche to, I think, the EDM genre for sure. Yeah, 90% of the general consumer is on Spotify, and if your stuff isn't on Spotify, you're kind of like not real, or not legit or whatever. I have mixed feelings about this just because it's one of those things where it's like, I understand it and I don't know what I would do if I was in his position, not taking a salary for 7 years and then all of a sudden making profit, overnight because we struck a deal with all these labels and things like that. But it does seem a little backwards that he's making almost $500 million while I'm getting $0.003 per stream. Boomer says EDM is having a renaissance on SoundCloud right now because that's where the heat is. But every other genre is so dead. Yeah, it's like a hip hop EDM heavy platform now, which I'm not mad about personally, because you find good remixes, you find good, edits and flips all over SoundCloud. But if you're trying to reach a mass audience, right, and you're trying to gain new fans that will just put your stuff on their own personal playlist, or it'll come up on their algorithmic, playlist, with EDM, you kind of get a mix of the true fans and the general listeners. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about that entire debacle. It seems a little ridiculous that he's getting that much money for running Spotify, but whatever. There's nothing we can do about it, clearly.